new.
My name is Leah Bolger. I'm a retired Navy commander. I spent 20 years in the military, and now I'm a full-time peace activist. I'm from Oregon, and I came here today to support Bradley Manning.
And why is Bradley Manning important to you, or important in general?
Well, I work a lot of my time on ending war and telling the truth about where the organization I'm with, Veterans for Peace. That's the first tenet of our statement of purpose, is to educate the public about the true costs and consequences of war. And war is a horrible, horrible thing. And the collateral murder video that Bradley Manning is accused of leaking shows the public what real war is like. I mean, that's war. War is just a series of many, many collateral murder videos. And so I am outraged at what is shown in the video. And other people, the government, the military, has turned this around and been outraged that Bradley Manning leaked something classified. It should never have been classified. This is not a secret, that was released. This is the truth of war. And so I am outraged that our government is hiding the truth of war from us. First of all, they entered into, the war itself is illegal. And then this collateral murder video shows us the truth, the horror of war. Many, many violations of international law are depicted on that video. And so what does the government do? They classify it because they don't want us to know the truth. And so Bradley Manning, if he did it, he's a hero. If he didn't do it, then he has spent a year in jail as a political prisoner, as retribution for some perceived, slight against the military that, we've exposed the dirty secret of what war is.
What do you think about the treatment of Bradley Manning by the military?
I think it's horrendous. First of all, he was in Kuwait when he was first arrested, and I think our public outcry, the Courage to Resist people and the Bradley Manning Support Network, we organized. We put out a lot of public opposition to his arrest, and I think that helped get him back into the States where he could consult a civilian lawyer and he could communicate with his friends and family. So that was a big step and an important thing. But then once he was in Quantico, he was treated like some kind of serial killer, some kind of dangerous criminal, and put under, some people debate whether it's torture. I think it's torture. The UN thinks it's torture. Amnesty International thinks the conditions he was under were torture. But even if you don't think it's torture, it certainly meets the criteria of cruel and unusual punishment. And it is punishment. It's not just incarceration. It's not just holding somebody in preparation for trial. He was punished. He was sleep deprived, which is a torture tactic. He was deprived of sunlight. He was deprived of exercise. He was deprived of communicating with other people and social interaction. And that is, I'd like to think that our country is better than that. So I am outraged at the way this person was treated, who was not a dangerous criminal that needed to be locked up and separated from other people. What he did, if he did it, was a heroic and brave and act that came out of moral courage, that came out of a responsibility to the American people to let us know what war is really like. He didn't do it because he wanted, he didn't do it for money, he didn't do it for fame, he didn't do it for some kind of ideological, I support the enemy. And so what he did was expose the truth. And you talk to any of these guys here at this rally that have been in Iraq or Afghanistan, they will tell you that is the truth of war. That it's not what the military and the government would like you to think it is.
Do you think he got a more severe treatment because he is gay in the military thus far?
I don't know. I think that the collateral murder video embarrassed the military, and the way that they handled this is to play up his personal situation. That you see the Frontline video, Frontline show that talked about he's a troubled youth, and played up the aspect of his sexuality, which has nothing to do with anything. But I think that the government wants to cast. They want to discredit him, and they want to depict him as some kind of troubled, jilted lover that that was just acting impulsively, and the Frontline video didn't talk anything about what was depicted with the crimes that were shown in the video. It didn't mention anything about what Bradley said about I hope this gets out, that that I don't I want people to know the truth, and so this is part of the big media machine that is complicit with the government, the military-industrial complex, which I call the military-industrial media complex, because the media is complicit in keeping the war machine going and going and going. And it's not in their best interest to say, oh, Bradley Manning is he's right. This is horrible, and we are guilty of war crimes. It's much easier for them to classify it and say, he's a flake, he's gay, he's whatever. It's unconscionable, really, that they would do that, but it doesn't surprise me at all.
Obama has already said that Bradley Manning is guilty for breaking the law. How can he possibly get a fair trial now?
He can't. That's why the military, the only thing they can do, really, the only right thing they can do is drop the charges, because he cannot get a fair trial. And, he can't get a jury of his peers. The jury is going to be composed of military people who report to the commander-in-chief. And the commander-in-chief has already pronounced him guilty. So, no, there's no way he can get a fair trial. And the media, like I said, the media has tainted everybody's opinion about him by depicting him as this, dissatisfied, young, immature kid, instead of focusing on the content of the things that were released. So, no, I don't think he can get a fair trial. I will tell you that being in jail in solitary confinement will cause you mental harm. I have spent 2 nights in a jail, and I tell you, I knew when I was going to get out, and I knew what the charges were against me, and I knew that the process was. I understood what was happening, but I could easily see how you would, I don't want to say lose your mind, but how you would be mentally damaged by not having any kind of visual stimulus, no reading, no television, nothing, the lights on all the time, you're cold, you can't sleep. I can easily see how that would cause some really serious some damage.
Do you think the military would have treated Bradley Manning any differently had he been a woman?
I never thought about that. No, I mean, you saw, Colonel Karpinski at Abu Ghraib was made the scapegoat for the torture there, and I think I don't think they would have treated him any differently if he were female. I just think that they would treat whoever it was that embarrassed the military and revealed their dirty secrets of war. They would probably do everything they could to discredit that person. I don't know.
Final question. Would they have sexually humiliated a woman in jail like they have and put her in solitary confinement?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I could see that they might do that, but I really don't know. It's absolutely horrible that they did that to him. Would they do it to a woman? I don't know. It may have been part of the whole trying to break him down, humiliate him, and of course nudity is another torture tactic. So it's possible that they would have done that with a woman, but I really don't know.
New.